With college basketball season entering its final stretch, it's a good opportunity to look at prospects and their full body of work, particularly before the hype attached to March Madness begins to take hold. Below, you'll find an updated list of the top 80 candidates going into June's NBA draft. Although there's a crown jewel in Zion Williamson and a major upside option in Ja Morant after him, the general consensus among front office personnel this season has by and large been that this class is underwhelming, particularly in the lottery, and not much has changed that feeling over the last few months. What that sense of disillusionment suggests is that there's a ton of opportunity for players to move into the first round, that stocks are volatile, and there may be more legitimate difference in opinion from team to team than usual once we get past the first handful of players. Accordingly, this update comes with a notable amount of movement top to bottom. Between in-person scouting evaluations, reviewing statistics and film, and factoring in word-of-mouth from ongoing conversations with NBA personnel, the aim with these rankings is to present a picture that helps better understand which prospects should warrant serious consideration for the 2019 draft, in what order and why, and to responsibly gauge and contextualize prospects' individual outlooks. As always, this list will be fluid over the course of the season and expand again when players begin declaring for the draft. And a reminder, unlike our mock draft, the big board does not factor in team need or fit. Height, 6 feet 7 inches, weight, 285, age, 18, last rank, 1. Williamson's injury and subsequent absence have helped delineate the gap between him and everyone else, both in terms of sheer basketball ability and impact on winning. Duke has looked like a totally different team when he's not on the floor, and something short of a contender. Williamson's immense athletic ability and basketball instincts are conducive to easy baskets, transition offense and momentum-swinging moments on both ends. Playing downhill with his size, finishing and passing ability, he's almost impossible to defend at the college level, and his skill set appears worthy of engineering a team around. While he is not an outstanding jump shooter, Williamson can simply barrel into the paint when defenses sag, and will draw gobs of fouls. His unusual strengths have covered for those flaws in prolific fashion, and given that he might well be the most athletic player in the NBA next season, there is plenty of reason to believe that this is all for real, even if your brain still can't fully process him. Height, 6 feet 3 inches, weight, 175, age, 19, last rank, 2 at this point. It feels safe to place Morant as the clear second-best prospect in the class, with a tangible gap in best-case projection between him and everyone else after him. After Williamson, he has the clearest path to becoming a high-level centerpiece for a contending team, with his superior passing vision, ambidextrous touch, explosiveness and change of direction hard to oversell. Though his athleticism has been touted, Morant takes over games with skill and feel, can play at different speeds, in transition or in the half court, and should see his game take off even further when surrounded by NBA-caliber talent. His jumper continues to improve, and his turnover rate is excusable given his heavy usage. His mistakes tend to be aggressive, rather than careless, and at the end of the day, they're a byproduct of a style you'd never ask him to abandon. He deserves to be the second pick in the draft. Height, 6 feet 6 inches, weight, 195, age, 20, last rank, 7. Although in a better draft, Culver likely wouldn't be flirting with a top 5 selection, that's not really a knock on what he's done, lifting Texas Tech to another strong season as the team's primary offensive conduit. Culver has improved at an impressive rate over the past year, and presents some level of security as an intuitive, well-rounded guard with size and ball skills. While he doesn't jump off the page as an athlete, his overall floor game is sound, and his ability to facilitate and knock down set shots at his size offers clear appeal. Culver may not be elite in any one area, but his feel stands out on offense. He's done a good job with very few weapons around him to shoulder the load this season, and will not need to be a primary ball handler in the NBA. He may not be a star, but has a chance to be a very positive contributor. You can argue he has a stronger value floor at no. 3 than the players listed after him. Height 6 feet 7 inches, weight 200, age 18, last rank 3. Without discrediting Barrett's prolific scoring season, there are some around the NBA who have pushed back on his preseason hype and begun to recalibrate his perceived value. His 2-week window playing without Zion Williamson was illuminating, and the concerns stem not from what Barrett does well score, but the manner in which he does it. At the college level, his strength, coordination, and particularly good left hand coupled with a consistent, locked-in approach have paid dividends. In the pros, his shaky jump shot and sporadic defense might be exposed immediately. Playing bully ball in the paint will be more difficult, and with as often as he looks to score, Barrett will have to put the work in to be able to do that efficiently. The glimpses of playmaking ability he's shown this season have been positive, but he has a long way to go to be able to anchor an efficient offense. The bottom line is he has yet to prove his style of play can regularly elevate his teammates, and that's become a sticking point for some. While Barrett has a strong chance to become an NBA-caliber volume scorer, teams are trying to parse how much his expected outcome correlates with winning games at the highest level. Height 6 feet 8 inches, weight 220, age 19, last rank 4. Only so much benefit of the doubt can be afforded with Reddish at this point, over the course of a season in which he has more often than not looked somewhat ordinary. While he has clearly flashed NBA ability on an ongoing basis, he's scarcely been a true difference maker for Duke, often functioning as more of a side dish as Williamson and Barrett carry the load. None of this has been a total surprise, but it has been disappointing, particularly with his struggles finishing in the paint and subsequent over-reliance on a streaky pull-up game. His size, ability to move the ball and hit open shots, and potential defensive versatility are still strengths, and his skill set fits neatly into the modern NBA. Still, to this point in his career, he's mostly been a tease. Reddish passes the eye test as well as anyone, but his inconsistencies continue to spark doubt. Height 6 feet 3 inches, weight 170, age 18, last rank 6. The fact that Garland's draft situation remains tenable despite his early season injury points to the high degrees of uncertainty revolving around so many of the projected lottery-caliber prospects. While Ja Morant has made a meaningful case to be the first point guard drafted, it's likely Garland ends up as the second, with his range hinging more on positional need and the eventual lottery sequence. He is a gifted playmaker and shooter who has consistently gotten the most out of ostensibly average athletic tools, but will need time to further his development as a floor general before he can be fully entrusted to run an offense. The NBA's success of skilled, high IQ guards like Mike Conley, or to a lesser extent, even the longevity of someone like Jeff Teague, helps chart the course for Garland to be successful. There is some concern over how his thin, smallish build will hold up long-term and some degree of debate over where his actual ceiling lies, but Garland should have a good chance to carve out an NBA career after he recovers. He is expected to be ready to work out for teams in the spring. Height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 220, age 18, last rank 8. Porter will be one of the trickiest players in the draft to peg between now and June, and there is a wide variance of opinions around the league as to where exactly he becomes worth the risk. In terms of raw basketball ability, Porter is one of the most gifted players available, and the overall frustrating nature of this draft lottery should make it easier to take a chance on him. The concerns teams have about him primarily center on his maturity level after a somewhat tumultuous year at USC. Still, others think that if you can insulate him with veteran influences on a team with some established culture, you might be able to bring him along and turn him into a special player. Where Porter ends up on draft night will depend on who picks where, and which teams feel they can get the most out of him. There's bust potential here, but he is capable of things most people simply cannot do with the ball in his hands. He may not end up in the top 5, but he should only be allowed to slip so far. Height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 185, age 19, last rank 16. White has built a legitimate case as North Carolina's best long-term prospect with his ability to shoot from deep and a developing off-dribble game. He has been a nice surprise, and on his hot shooting nights, his appeal as a scoring guard with size who can play on or off the ball is readily apparent. He's a natural too who continues to learn the nuances of running a team, but realistically, he'll be more of an NBA combo who is primarily valued for his shot-making ability. White is probably a couple years away from being a stable part of an NBA rotation, but his potential on both sides of the floor has generated enough intrigue to view him as a worthy late lottery candidate. As teams grasp for talent to top the draft, a strong finish to the season would be a boon for his overall stock. Height 6 feet 7 inches, weight 225, age 21, last rank 14. Hunter has had a stellar individual season, and is one of the few lottery-caliber options where you more or less know exactly what you're getting. He's an unflashy all-around player who can defend a variety of positions, has proven he can knock down open jumpers, and won't hurt you in any one area. While you won't funnel a ton of offense through him, Hunter has improved his individual game facing up in the mid-post, and should be able to take advantage of mismatches. It's easy to see him thriving playing next to quality playmakers without needing his number called. He should be a bankable NBA role player at worst, and a positive lineup cog with a chance to contribute immediately. Height 6 feet 11 inches, weight 220, age 18, last rank 10. It's probably important not to get too carried away with Hayes, but his physical profile, advanced defensive ability and long-term upside have kept him on course to be the first center selected in June. As a late bloomer with high-caliber tools, natural instincts defending the basket and touch around the rim, Hayes has the potential to check every box for a five-man who doesn't shoot jumpers. His offensive contributions are functionally limited, he's purely a finisher right now, and his rebounding can be a bit inconsistent. Still, as he gets stronger and begins to play with more discipline, Hayes has a reasonable chance of becoming a starting caliber big down the line. Height 6 feet 8 inches, weight 230, age 18, last rank 12. As the draft draws closer, there should be real opportunity for Doumbouya to move up from here, noting how underwhelmed the majority of scouts seem to be with the caliber of the American lottery. He should impress in workouts, and has come on a bit lately during club season after a thumb injury kept him out for all of January. His tools, shooting potential, and long-term role fit as a skilled four-man are all still intriguing, and it's key to remember that with his December birthday, he is expected to be the youngest player drafted. Teams who can afford to invest some time in a long-term project will continue to track Doumbouya closely, and his skill set makes a lot of sense within a modern front court. It won't be a surprise if he ends up in the top 10. Height 6 feet 6 inches, weight 220, age 19, last rank 5. Although he remains a lottery-type talent, many have run out of patience with Little, who never quite turned the corner this season and has been more of a luxury than an essential part of UNC's operation. From a tools standpoint, he has what it takes to be an NBA wing, but scouts are questioning his feel and lack of a pronounced pro-ready skill. He's been iffy playing off the dribble and shooting from distance. This isn't to say Little won't eventually be able to cut it, but evaluators have been forced to reassess his development curve, and he looks like a long-term project. Still, with his build and athletic ability, there should be a role for him if he can expand his skill set. Height 6 feet 8 inches, weight 230, age 21, last rank 11. Hachimura continues to intrigue teams with his NBA tools and efficient scoring, and the continued progress of his jump shot is a big key to projecting his value going forward. He's shot it sparingly from outside, but if he can become a consistent three-point threat, which based on his rapid development in other areas and demonstrable shooting touch, seems possible, he should be able to maximize his skill set as a four-man. He is less explosive than he is strong and smooth, but will be able to keep up physically at the next level. There's still room for improvement with Ja Morant in terms of diversifying his offense, and his defensive effort is solid, although his awareness can be inconsistent. Closing the season strong against NCAA tournament-level competition will be key for all of Gonzaga's prospects. Height 6 feet 6 inches, weight 210, age 19, last rank 13. Johnson has always been a player whose value lies in his floor as a likely contributor, and he's been steady if not spectacular for the Wildcats this season. His three-point shooting has been encouraging, his competitiveness consistently runs high, and there are no glaring holes in his skill set. Johnson is somewhat mature physically and is not extremely explosive or wiggly off the bounce, which points to a more limited ceiling than some of the players ahead of him on this list, but there's a lot to like about his game, particularly given the demand for wings who play both ends. He should be a relatively safe choice as high as the late lottery. Height 6 feet 9 inches, weight 215, age 19, last rank 15. At Paula and Stanford hit a bit of a slump to end the season, but teams will monitor him closely in the Pac-12 tournament and he remains a potential lottery pick. He has all the tools to be a quality pro and has been a mismatch problem in college, capable of slashing into the paint and drawing contact. Paula has a number of key areas of improvement to focus on going forward, including the progression of his jumper and finishing more consistently. The outside shooting in particular is key, as he is not a volume shooter and is just average from the foul line. As he continues to add muscle, there's definite upside given how agile he is for his size. Height 6 feet 11 inches, weight 245, age 19, last rank 25. But odds drew interest as high as the late first round last season, but opted to stay overseas, and has continued to impress as a highly productive pro at his age. As a result, there's a fairly safe production floor that comes attached with him, and for teams who favor skilled bigs, he should be a focus going into the spring. Bitadze has more of a traditional 5, but he's had an extremely strong year in Europe and will be in good position to maximize his stock. Bitadze has a pretty natural scorer around the basket, capable passer and strong shot blocker, moves his feet fairly well for his size, and continues to make a very strong first-round case. Height 6 feet 7 inches, weight 230, age 20, last rank 22. Washington is playing the most consistently productive ball of his career at the moment, and while he's not a huge upside guy, it's pretty clear his base set of skills makes sense together when projecting forward. He's mobile, bouncy, and his rebounding, passing and defensive positioning enable him to impact games even when he's not scoring. Washington has always been a sound finisher, and his jump shot continues to improve. His three-point range has looked more convincing of late, as well. From a role player perspective, he has a lot to offer. He can continue to help himself with a strong showing in March. Height 6 feet 10 inches, weight 235, age 20, last rank 29. It's been a banner year for Fernando's growth, and even with Maryland's inconsistencies, it's never been more apparent that his physical ability, motor and intangibles create a degree of long-term NBA floor for him. He should be ready to log some minutes right away, and fit into a less demanding offensive role that better suits him. Many of the immediate concerns with Fernando's game stem from occasionally stiff post-up play and turnover issues, but realistically, he's not a guy you'll want to run things through at the next level anyway. If you think of him as Diet Clint Capella, running the floor, finishing and protecting the basket, and moving his feet effectively in space, his NBA fit is obvious. He has looked the part of a first-rounder. Height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 195, age 19, last rank 27. Kentucky's improved play has been a good platform for Harrow to showcase his skill set, and he's taken advantage. His ability to make difficult shots from deep and play make a little on the side has always been endearing, and he plays with a bit more toughness than is generally advertised. Harrow has cut back a bit on his tendency to over-dribble, and profiles as a potentially dangerous supporting scorer on the perimeter. His body type doesn't have much appeal from an NBA standpoint, but his overall defensive effort has been encouraging, and there have been games where he looks like his team's best prospect. He's more or less established himself as a first-rounder at this point. Height 6 feet 6 inches, weight 215, age 19, last ranked 9. There is some real reason for concern with Langford, who has turned in an uneven season without showing much tangible progression. It's not entirely his fault that Indiana has struggled, but expectations for him need to be reframed. There is some division of opinion about him, and some teams will have interest in his build and ability to finish, hoping they can flesh his skill set out. Upon close examination, Langford plays a predictable offensive game, struggles changing speeds, and if his three-point shot never comes around, he could end up on the fringes of the league sooner than anyone expected. This may seem like an overly negative tack to take with him, but at some point Langford's pedigree has to be head against what we're seeing. He has not looked the part of a lottery pick, although it may be where he ends up based on perceived upside. Height 6 feet 11 inches, weight 235, age 19, last ranked 24. Porter remains out for the season as he recovers from tearing his ACL and MCL, an unfortunate turn of events after he surprised NBA teams by deciding to return to school last year. Although it's maybe difficult for him to play his way upward in the draft, he has a terrific feel for the game and strong pass dribble shoot skill set for a big. Some teams had doubts about his athleticism last season, and Porter will need to show up in good shape and impress in individual workouts. Because his success has always been more predicated on his skill, the injury may not sap his effectiveness much. He still has a good case as a first-round talent, and it will help that he's an analytical darling. Height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 205, age 20, last rank 18. There's little questioning how much Alexander Walker has improved this season, from his slimmed-down build to his consistent offensive contributions. Although he clearly profiles as a two-guard at the next level given his ongoing issues playing downhill and in the paint, he has the passing feel, shooting ability and size to be a nice complement alongside a more explosive playmaker. He's not an alpha dog and can be turnover-prone when asked to do too much, but it's telling that he's been at his best with Justin Robinson playing point guard. While Alexander Walker doesn't have incredible upside, the likelihood he becomes a useful rotation player has him as a mid to late first-round selection in the eyes of most scouts. Height 6 feet 4 inches, weight 240, age 18, last ranked 23. Although Horton-Tucker is somewhat of a polarizing prospect among evaluators, his ability to create shots for himself and others off the dribble make him an intriguing, if unorthodox player. Not many college players can match his natural ability to play on the move and score creatively. The key to Horton-Tucker unlocking his full potential will be improving his body and getting stronger, which would hopefully help him improve as a defender and athlete. His off-the-charts length helps compensate for his lack of height. If he puts everything together, he could be a uniquely effective player, but it may require a bit of patience. Height 7 feet 2 inches, weight 235, age 19, last ranked 17. Bulls season-ending foot injury has made him into even more of a wild card in this draft. While in terms of sheer ability he can justify a lottery selection, the implications of foot issues for guys his size coupled with his unusually slender body type are all pointing in the wrong direction. As such, it will be difficult for many teams to justify committing a high selection here when considering the risk. There were already concerns stemming from his work ethic and NBA fit, and whether he can physically handle a big minutes load, something that's increasingly difficult to justify for 7-foot centers. The possibility of developing Bol into a unique, floor-spacing rotation big should keep him in the first round, but it's tough to feel overly secure about him. Height 6 feet 4 inches, weight 215, age 19, last ranked 21. Dort remains a first-round talent based on his tools, but his outside shooting and decision-making skills are still questionable, and make him something of an acquired taste. He's built like a tank and has been able to overpower college defenders with his heft and explosiveness as a straight-line driver, and his base level of athletic ability gives him a good chance to find some level of NBA success. Still, Dort is not a particularly creative finisher in traffic and doesn't have a very good left hand, and his approach barreling into the paint will only go so far at the next level. Defensively, his bulk helps him with larger wings, but also might keep him from sticking with quicker guards. There will be teams who value his unique physical attributes, and others who are concerned enough by his limitations to pass in this range. Height, 6 feet 10 inches, weight, 210, age, 19, last rank, 26. If Zion ends up in this draft, he'll be an interesting investment in the late first or early second round as a skilled big with legitimate versatility on the perimeter. He has been in a tricky development situation this season that teams will take into account. Zion badly needs to get stronger and develop his frame, but teams have long been intrigued by his ability to shoot, handle and pass at his size on the perimeter. He could be an intriguing stash player, or a team could seek to bring him over next year and develop him hands-on. He remains someone worth keeping tabs on. Height, 6 feet 7 inches, weight, 225, age, 20, last rank, 39. NWORA possesses a very solid skill set for a complementary forward, able to shoot from deep off the catch and dribble, rebound and move the ball effectively. His play can still be a bit inconsistent, but he has blossomed as the primary offensive option for the Cardinals, showcasing high-level shot-making ability and helping lift them to a surprisingly solid season. Concerns stem from his body type and defensive contributions, as he's probably best suited as a 3 but will struggle keeping up with athletic wings. Still, the possibility he gets into peak shape coupled with an attractive skill set make him intriguing in the late first round. NWORA should be considered within the context of this year's draft, particularly if his stock peaks during the pre-draft process. Height, 6 feet 5 inches, weight, 205, age, 23, last rank, 43. In terms of defensive impact, the Bulla is among the best players in the country, to the degree that he needs to be taken seriously in spite of the fact Washington plays exclusively zone. If you believe what he does translates, and noting his quickness, length and disruptive hands, it should, then he has a strong case in the first round. While he's unlikely to be much of an offensive weapon, as a 36% career three-point shooter, and 78% from the line, it's fair to bet that his jumper stays passable. If couple that with potentially elite perimeter defense, you have the makings of a very solid role player. All things considered, he's a low-risk, high-reward option in this range of the draft. Height, 6 feet 2 inches, weight, 185, age, 19, last rank, 29. Jones continues to be a rock-solid, if unspectacular, contributor for Duke, and his maturity and unselfishness are traits that will serve him well at the NBA level. He's established himself as one of the best defenders in college basketball, with extremely quick hands and anticipation skills. Bigger, more athletic guards can take advantage of him at times, but Jones will have to hang his hat on that end to survive long-term. Still, there is a real concern that he could be an offensive detractor if his three-point shooting doesn't improve. He's a good passer and doesn't make many mistakes, but it's extremely difficult to play with the ball in your hands in the NBA without being a threat to score. There's some optimism he can figure it out, and being able to keep defenses honest will go a long way for him. Height, 6 feet 5 inches, weight, 170, age, 18, last rank, 28. Although he has not made much of an impact in the scoring column at all this season, teams have begun to take notice of Halliburton's other contributions within the context of Iowa State's success. His minimal offensive usage rate masks his role as a primary offensive conduit for the Cyclones, always making the right pass, rarely turning the ball over, and ensuring his higher-profile teammates are put in good positions to score. Halliburton has exceptional vision and elite instincts on both sides of the ball. His feel for where the ball should go and ability to enhance transition play is elite, and despite shooting a strictly set jumper